If you only had 10 years left to live, what would you do? It's not a question most of us want to ask ourselves, is it? Who wants to think about life coming to an end sooner than expected? But sometimes it's these hard questions that wake us up and help us start living more fully. Linda, a 63-year-old woman, wasn't someone who worried much about her health. She had spent her whole life working hard, caring for her family, and keeping her home neat and tidy. But one day, during a routine checkup, her doctor said something that made her stop in her tracks. "There's a tumor in your body. We don't know yet if it's benign or malignant, but you should prepare yourself." Those words hit her like a thunderclap. Linda never imagined she'd have to face something like this. The doctor estimated that she might have 10 years left, if she was lucky. This wasn't some distant possibility. It wasn't something she could brush aside. 10 years, just a number, yet suddenly, the entire world around her felt different. She no longer had time to worry about organizing the basement or scrubbing every corner of the house. So much of her life had been about maintaining appearances, keeping things in order on the outside, while quietly neglecting what truly mattered inside: her dreams, her joy, her peace of mind. But now, with this diagnosis, Linda began to see clearly. Time is her most precious possession, and maybe keeping the house spotless wasn't the most important thing after all. She wanted to live a life that felt meaningful, not just tidy, not just organized. She wanted to live for herself, for what truly brought her happiness. In this video, you'll discover Linda's inspiring journey, a 63-year-old woman facing one of the biggest challenges of her life, knowing that her time is limited. You'll see how she began to shift her habits, one by one, letting go of what no longer mattered and creating space to truly live. From clearing out her home to reclaiming her heart, Linda's story is not just about decluttering a house, it's about redefining a life. So stay with us until the end, because I believe this story might touch your heart and maybe even help you see your own life a little differently. And don't forget to subscribe to Senior Rise for more heartfelt stories and practical wisdom to help you live with clarity, purpose, and peace at any age. Habit 1. Stop accumulating stuff. That day, Linda began to realize something profound. The things in her house weren't just taking up space, they were taking up space in her mind too. Raised to be frugal and to hold on to what might be useful someday, she had developed a strong habit of keeping everything. Old clothes, unused gadgets, broken appliances, Linda kept them all, clinging to the hope that one day I might need this. But now, she saw it differently. Each unnecessary item felt like a heavy stone added to her life, weighing her down with invisible pressure. Every time she looked around her overfilled house, it felt like she was trapped in a box with no air, no room to breathe. And it wasn't just the physical clutter, it was the mental load that came with it. Worries, regrets, endless to-dos tied to things that no longer served her. So she made a bold decision. No more unnecessary buying. No more just-in-case purchases. She began the process of clearing out, starting with her closet. She donated clothes she hadn't worn in years, some still with tags. And as she opened her closet to see space instead of clutter, she felt like she could finally breathe again. Each item she let go of wasn't just freeing up her home, it was opening up her heart and mind too. Have you ever looked around your home and felt like you were surrounded by things you no longer need? Do some of those things make you feel stuck instead of supported? Habit 2. The daily trash sweep. Once Linda embraced the idea of living with less, she quickly realized something else. She couldn't declutter everything at once. The house was still packed, and just thinking about tackling it all was overwhelming. So instead of diving in head first, she came up with a gentler, simpler method: the daily trash sweep. Every evening, Linda would set aside just 10 minutes to walk through her home and toss out anything that was clearly trash. Old papers, expired spices, cracked plastic containers. She started small, with the entryway where mail, flyers, and junk tended to pile up. In just one night, she filled an entire trash bag. After that, she moved to the living room, then the bedroom. She threw away things she'd postponed dealing with for months, even years. And every single time, she felt lighter, more at peace. The act of letting go, bit by bit, was like brushing off invisible dust that had been weighing down her spirit. What surprised her most was how simple it felt. She no longer wrestled with the question of whether to keep or toss. If it was broken, expired, or forgotten, it was out. No more guilt, no more hesitation. Have you ever looked at something in your home and asked yourself, why am I still keeping this? Maybe tonight is the night to let just one of those things go. Habit 3. Stay focused on one goal at a time. As Linda continued clearing out, she stumbled upon another challenge: distraction. It wasn't the physical labor that slowed her down. It was the constant tug of unfinished tasks. She'd enter the kitchen to clear out a drawer, then end up wiping the counters, loading the dishwasher, or rearranging shelves. Hours would pass, and nothing felt truly finished. Sound familiar? Have you ever started one task only to get pulled into 3 others, leaving everything half done? That's when Linda decided she needed to focus, really focus. She created a simple rule for herself: one goal at a time. When she was decluttering, she would only declutter. No cleaning, no tidying, no reorganizing, just removal. And to stay on track, she started using a timer. Just 15 minutes. That's it. She'd pick a small area, a drawer, a shelf, a basket, and give it her full attention. And what she discovered was almost magical. 15 minutes of focused effort was enough to transform a messy corner into a peaceful one. And over time, those small victories added up. Day by day, room by room, her home began to reflect the life she truly wanted: calm, clear, and intentional. Each small shift led to a bigger change. Linda didn't overhaul her entire home in a weekend. She didn't need to. What mattered was that she started, and that she kept going. And maybe you can too. Have you ever felt like your home is filled with things that no longer add value to your life? If so, what would happen if you let just one of them go today? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear how your journey is unfolding. Habit 4. Donate what you no longer use. When Linda realized she had accumulated far more than she needed, she asked herself a powerful question: do I really need to keep all of this? And almost immediately, another thought followed. There are people out there who need these things far more than I do. So instead of holding on, she began to let go, with purpose. Linda started donating regularly. Every month, she prepared a bag filled with clothes she no longer wore, shoes that no longer fit, and handbags that had sat untouched for years. She sorted through them carefully, folded each item with care, and took them to a local charity center. The first time she dropped off her donation, she hesitated at the door, unsure if giving away so much at once was the right decision. But when a volunteer smiled warmly and said, "Someone is going to be so happy to receive this," Linda's heart felt lighter than it had in years. You probably know that feeling too, don't you? When you give something away, you're not just letting go of a material object, you're sharing joy. You're giving someone else a chance to use what you no longer need. And the beautiful thing is, Linda didn't feel like she had lost anything. On the contrary, she felt richer, freer, more fulfilled. Through this, she realized something deeper. Life isn't about accumulating more things. It's about sharing, about feeling peace in your soul. The more she gave, the lighter she felt. Her home became more spacious, yes, but her heart did too. Have you ever felt joy in giving something away? What does it feel like for you to help someone else with something as simple as a coat or a pair of shoes? I'd love to hear your experience. Share it in the comments below. Habit 5. Apply the 80-20 rule. One day, standing in front of her closet, Linda noticed something obvious she had never paid attention to before. She wore the same few outfits, over and over. Despite having dozens of clothes hanging neatly, she realized she wore about 20% of them 80% of the time. The rest, just taking up space, taking up time, taking up energy. Have you ever stood in front of your closet and thought, why am I keeping all of this? We've all held on to things we don't wear, hoping we might use them someday. So Linda decided to try something new. She applied the 80-20 rule to her wardrobe and eventually to her entire life. She kept only the clothes she truly enjoyed wearing, the ones that made her feel good, comfortable, and confident. Out went the outfits that no longer fit, the shoes that pinched her toes, the scarves that never matched anything. And suddenly, her closet breathed. It felt airy, intentional, and every time she opened it, she smiled, because everything in it was something she actually used. But she didn't stop there. She took this principle to her kitchen, her bookshelves, her daily routines. What did she really use? What truly brought her joy? Everything else she released. The 80-20 rule helped her not just free up space in her home, but also reclaim her time, her energy, her clarity. Have you ever tried the 80-20 rule in your home or your life? If you have, what changed for you? If not, would you consider starting today? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Habit 6. Be decisive. One of Linda's biggest challenges in decluttering wasn't the physical labor. It was indecision. She'd pick up an old coat, stare at it, then hang it back. Hold onto a pair of shoes that hadn't fit in years, but still place them back on the shelf. She'd look at a box of sentimental items and think, should I keep this? What if I regret it later? And just like that, she'd stop. Stuck. Again. Eventually, Linda realized something important. Every moment of hesitation drained her energy. Every indecision delayed her peace. So she made a rule. If it's not a clear yes, it's a no. Simple, but powerful. The more she practiced it, the stronger she became. That old coat, if she hadn't worn it in years, it was out. The box of items she kept just because she might want them someday, gone. She stopped letting fear of regret dictate what stayed in her life. And with every decision made, she felt more in control, more peaceful, more free. She wasn't just clearing her space, she was reclaiming her confidence too. And you? Can you be more decisive when it comes to what you keep? Take a look around your home. Ask yourself, do I really need this? And if the answer isn't a full, joyful yes, maybe it's time to let it go. Habit 7. Create drop zones. One of the reasons Linda often felt overwhelmed when trying to tidy her home was because there simply wasn't a place for everything. Items ended up scattered across the house, a coat tossed over a chair, a piece of mail left on the kitchen table, a set of keys thrown into a random drawer. Even when she was actively cleaning, clutter kept building up because nothing really had a home. So Linda came up with a simple but powerful solution. She created designated drop zones, temporary holding spots for items that were out of place. She placed a small basket near the front door for things that didn't belong there. In her home office, she added a clear container where she could drop miscellaneous items while she focused on her main task. Rather than constantly interrupting herself to return each item to its proper place, she just put it in the drop zone and kept going. At the end of the week, Linda would revisit these baskets and sort through them, deciding what to keep, toss, or return. And every time she did, she felt less stressed, more in control. Having these drop zones allowed her to focus on one area at a time, without the guilt or distraction of unfinished tasks elsewhere. Over time, it helped her maintain order without feeling overwhelmed. Habit 8. Set a timer. Linda used to believe that in order to clean properly, she needed an entire morning, or maybe even a full day. But that belief made her feel exhausted before she even started. Her home was large, filled with decades of memories and objects, and time always felt too short. So one day, she tried something different. She set a timer. Every time she began tidying, she would set the timer for 15 minutes. And during that time, she gave her full focus to one task. No distractions, no multitasking, just one clear job. When the timer rang, she would stop, take a breath, and decide whether to continue or leave it for the next day. What surprised her was how effective this was. In just 15 minutes, she could organize a messy drawer, declutter a shelf, or clear out a small corner of the living room. The short burst of effort felt manageable, and the progress was real. She no longer waited for a perfect time to start cleaning. She made time work for her. Habit 9. The put it back box. Another obstacle Linda ran into was constant back and forth. She'd start organizing a bookshelf only to find a pair of scissors that belonged in the kitchen. She'd stop, walk across the house, return the scissors, and by the time she came back, she had lost momentum. To stay focused, Linda created what she called her put it back box, a simple container where she dropped any item that didn't belong in the space she was cleaning. That way, she could keep working without leaving the room. When she was done, she would carry the box around the house and return everything to its proper home. This little habit saved her time and reduced frustration. No more stopping mid-task, no more scattered efforts, just calm, steady progress. Have you ever been distracted by out-of-place items while trying to clean? Do you think a put-it-back box might help you stay focused on the task at hand? If so, let me know in the comments below. Habit 10. Make it fun. Finally, Linda discovered one of the most powerful secrets of all. She could make decluttering enjoyable. Instead of treating it like a chore, she turned it into a small, daily ritual of self-care. One of her favorite tricks was creating a playlist of upbeat songs. Every time she started cleaning, she'd press play and let the music guide her movement. Folding laundry became more joyful. Sorting papers felt lighter with a favorite melody in the background. She also gave herself mini challenges. Can I declutter this drawer in 10 minutes? How many things can I let go of in 15 minutes? And when she finished a task, she rewarded herself with a warm cup of tea and a few moments of peace. The more she practiced this, the more she realized something important. Decluttering wasn't punishment. It was a gift. It was a way to care for her space and, more importantly, for herself. Looking back on Linda's journey, we see that decluttering isn't just about cleaning a house, it's about clearing space in your life. She didn't just let go of unnecessary items. She let go of procrastination, of lingering worries, of the mental weight that had built up over the years. She learned how to live for herself, to give her time and energy to the things that truly mattered, not just objects or routines. And you can do the same. No matter where you are in life, starting with small changes can lead to powerful shifts. Decluttering doesn't just create a tidier space, it creates a calmer, lighter spirit. So begin today. Take a fresh look at the things around you. Notice the habits that no longer serve you, and start making gentle, intentional changes. Let go of what no longer matters and make room for what truly brings you joy. And if Linda's story touched your heart, I invite you to share your own story in the comments below so we can learn, grow, and create change together. Subscribe to Senior Rise to receive more heartfelt stories and practical tips that help you live each day with greater clarity, peace, and purpose. Live a lighter life. Live for yourself. And remember, every time you declutter your home, you're not just clearing your space, you're also clearing your mind and your heart. Thank you for watching.